If you're currently paying a freelancer who requires constant revisions, or an agency that does not care about your profit margins, or if you are personally duct taping together 5 different software subscriptions just to get a single campaign live, you are in exactly the right place. Because right now, you are probably spending more time managing your marketing than you are actually growing your business. And today, I'm going to show you why that is a structural problem and not a personal one, and exactly how we are going to fix it. Welcome to the marketing department you don't have to hire. Over the next 60 minutes, I'm not going to teach you an AI theory or give you a list of 50 prompts to memorize. We're going to look at the exact mechanics of how you replace your marketing overhead with an AI powered system. Here is exactly what we are going to cover. First, the hiring ceiling. Why trying to scale your marketing by adding more freelancers, agencies, or employees eventually creates more management drag than actual leverage. Second, the tool stack trap. Why adding more disconnected AI tools does not fix the problem. It creates a more expensive, fragile version of it. Third, the AI marketing department model. What a unified AI department looks like when configured agents, funnels, and emails all operate inside one environment. Fourth, the one person company shift, the math behind faster launches, higher margins, and more freedom when scale is no longer tied to headcount. And finally, the system you install, why the next step is not buying another course to learn AI, but stepping into an environment where we install this exact system together. So why is this so important right now? Because most of you are trying to grow your revenue, but the traditional model is forcing you to grow your overhead instead. You want more output, more campaigns, more content, more leads. So you hire another freelancer, you add another tool, you sign another agency retainer. But every time you add one of these pieces, you add another layer of coordination, you add another point of failure. This topic matters because the model you are using right now was not designed for delegation, not leverage. And the more you grow under the delegation model, the more you have to manage. Eventually, the business collapses under its own complexity and you burn out trying to hold it all together. We are here today to break that cycle. So, why are we having the conversation today and not 6 months from now? Because the market has shifted. Your competitors are no longer just playing around with Chat GPT. The smartest operators in your space have stopped treating AI like a novelty and started installing it as an infrastructure. They are deploying systems right now that allow them to launch faster, publish more, and run leaner than you. Internally, you feel this tension every single week. Every time you delay a launch because a freelancer is late, or you swallow a lower profit margin because your team overhead is so high, you are paying the human bandwidth tax. The cost of waiting is not zero. If you don't make this shift now, you are not just staying where you are actively falling behind. In the next 12 months, you will be competing against one person companies that have the output of a 10-person agency. You will not be able to match their speed, and you will not be able to match their margins. The window to get ahead of this closing it the window of getting this the window to get ahead of this is closing. If we have not met yet, my name is Tyler. I am the founder of AI Brand App. I did not start out trying to build an AI marketing platform. I started out as a founder who was trying to scale a business and hit the exact same ceiling you are hitting right now. A few years ago, I realized I needed a full marketing department, a copywriter, a funnel builder, and email marketer, and somebody to run social media. But when I looked at the 50,000 a month payroll required to hire that team and the 20 hours a week it would take me to manage them, I realized something terrifying. Growing my business was going to make me miserable. I was already spending half my week briefing freelancers who missed the mark or trying to duct tape 6 different software subscriptions together just to get a campaign out the door. The business was growing, but I felt completely trapped by the infrastructure required to run it. I could not justify the payroll and I refused to accept the management overhead. So I built AI brand app instead. I built a system that could perform those marketing functions faster, more consistently, and without a team dependency. My mission now is simple. I want to give you the exact infrastructure I built so you can scale the output of an entire company without ever scaling the payroll. To get you to that level of leverage, we have to deconstruct the model you are using right now. Remember the path we are taking today. We are going to look at why hiring creates drag, why tool stacking creates fragility, what the AI marketing department actually looks like, and how the math of a one person company works. And finally, how you can install this system for yourself. One last thing before we jump into the system, I want to be completely transparent about why we're here today. At the end of this presentation, I'm not going to ask you to buy a $2,000 course. I am not going to try to sell you a PDF of prompts. Instead, I'm going to invite you to join me for a free 5-day challenge where we actually open up AI brand app and install everything I'm about to show you live into your business. That invitation is free, but you will only get the link if you stay until the end. So put your phone away, close your other tabs, and let's get into the model that replaces the team. Let's look at theme one, the hiring ceiling. Let's start with the most common trap for growing founders. It's the hiring ceiling. The hiring ceiling is the invisible growth limit you hit when you try to scale your marketing output by adding more people instead of installing a system. It is the moment your marketing growth stops depending on your strategy and starts depending entirely on human bandwidth. It happens when you realize that to get more campaigns out the door, you have to hire more employees, sign more agency retired retainers, or manage more freelancers. It is the exact moment when scaling your business stops feeling like freedom and starts feeling like you just became a full-time HR manager. Why is it so important that we name this ceiling? Because right now, almost all of you are inside living it, but you are completely misdiagnosing the problem. Think about the last time a freelancer ghosted you, or an agency delivered generic garbage, or an assistant made a mistake that took you 3 hours to fix. What did you tell yourself? You probably said, I hired the wrong person, or I didn't brief them well enough, or I guess I just need to get better at delegating. You blame yourself, or you blame the hire, but you did not blame the model. Naming the hiring ceiling is important because it proves that your frustration is not a failure of your leadership. It is a mathematical certainty. Human bandwidth models break at scale. Until you recognize that the model is the problem, you will just keep trying to fix it by hiring different people. Because you don't because you do not realize the model is broken, you keep making the exact same mistake over and over again. You try to solve a systems problem with a people solution. When your marketing slows down, what is your first instinct? I need to hire someone. When your freelancer misses a deadline, what do? You fire them and you spend 3 weeks looking for a better freelancer. You swap out the agency, you hire a new contractor. You are treating a fundamental architecture problem like it is just a bad personnel fit. And as a result, you are trapped in an endless loop. Hire, train, manage, get frustrated, fire, repeat. You keep replacing the person when what you actually need to do is replace the model. To break the ceiling, you have to fundamentally change the question you ask when you hit a bottleneck. Right now, when execution slows down, you ask, who do I need to hire? Starting today, I want you to completely eliminate that question from your brain. Instead, I want you to ask, what system do I need to install? A marketing department is not a group of people. It is simply a set of functions: copywriting, funnel building, email automation, content creation. Those functions can be performed by an expensive human team, or they can be performed by a unified AI system. The answer is not to build a bigger team to handle those functions. The answer is to install a smarter system that runs them for you. I am not telling you this as a theory. I'm telling you this because I hit the hiring ceiling hard in my own business. A few years ago, I realized I needed the output of a full marketing department. I needed consistent copywriting, someone to build my funnels, someone to manage email follow up, and someone to produce content output. So I ran the numbers. To hire those four roles with A players, the payroll was going to be over $15,000 a month. But worse than the money was the time. I realized that if I hired them, I would spend 20 hours a week just managing them, reviewing copy, checking funnel links, approving schedules. I would stop being a CEO and become a full time marketing director. I could not accept that. So I did not hire them. Instead, I built the system that became AI brand app. And here's the truth. I did not replace my marketing team with AI just to save $15,000 a month. I replaced it because the system is faster, more consistent, and never needs a revision round at 11 p.m. the night before a launch. Now, I want you to do a 60-second audit with me right now. No spreadsheets required. Just grab a pen or open a note on your phone. First, write down exactly how much you are spending every month right now on freelancers, agencies, contractors, or part time help for your marketing. Just get that hard cost down right now. Okay. Second, I want you to be totally honest. How many hours a week do you personally spend briefing those people, reviewing their work, sending revisions, or following up to make sure things actually get done? Write that number down. Now, multiply those hours by what your time as a CEO is actually worth per hour. And that to the cash you are already spending. Now, look at that final number. That number is not the cost of your marketing. That is the cost of your current model. There is a different model, and it costs less, runs faster, and does not require a single revision request. I want to see if we are all in the same boat here. Drop this in the chat right now. What is the one marketing role or task that you have hired, outsourced, or struggled to delegate more than once? And it still is not working the way you need it to. Is it copy? Is it funnels? Is it managing your inbox? Type it in the chat. I'm seeing copy. I'm seeing copywriting. I'm seeing funnels. Okay. I'm seeing social media manager. I'm seeing building out social media landing pages. Okay. That's exactly what, you know, what's going on. You're not alone in this. The reason that task keeps breaking is not because you cannot find good people. It is because you are still trying to solve a system problem with a people solution. And once founders realize this, the next instinct is usually software. So let's talk about why that creates its own trap. Here's the tool stack trap. So once you realize the hiring ceiling is real, what is your next instinct? If I should not hire people, I should just use software. And that instinct leads us directly into thing two, the tool stack trap. The tool stack trap is what happens when you try to solve a systems problem by adding more disconnected software instead of adding more people. You buy a chat GPT for copy, you buy Zapier for automation, you buy a funnel builder, an email platform, and a scheduling tool. But instead of getting leverage, you get complexity. You realize that you did not actually build an automated system. You just built a fragile stack of subscriptions, and the only thing holding it all together is you. This is incredibly important because almost everyone in this room is already AI aware. You have subscriptions, you have accounts, you have probably spent hours watching tutorials and building Zapier workflows, and yet you still do not have a marketing department that runs without you. You you might be sitting there thinking, I've tried AI tools and they just don't stick for me. I need to hear this. You did not fail at using AI. You failed because you were sold the lie that if you duct tape enough good tools together, they will magically become a system. You are not behind because you have not tried hard enough. You are stuck because you are trying to build an operating system out of spare parts. The mistake most founders make is evaluating tools by features instead of integration. You find the best AI writer, then you find the best funnel builder, but you never ask how they talk to each other. As a result, you are building automations that still need you to operate them. You log into ChatGPT, you type a prompt, you copy the output, you paste it into your funnel, you click publish. You think you are using AI, but you are really just using AI as a fast typewriter. You are building automations that trigger only when you have the time to trigger them. But here's the hard truth: if your marketing pauses the moment you get busy, you have not built a system. You have built a checklist with extra steps. You are building automations that need you instead of systems that replace you. To escape the trap, you have to completely change how you build. You have to stop selecting tools and start designing functions. Right now, you are using tool first thinking. What is the best AI writing tool? I need to shift to systems first thinking. What marketing functions need to run in my business even when I am not looking at my computer? Once you define those functions, you do not go out and buy six different subscriptions to run them. You install one unified operating system that executes all of them from a single environment. You have to stop shopping for tools and start installing the operating system. Let's look at what the tool stack trap actually looks like right now in practice. So right now, if you want to launch a campaign, your stat probably looks like this. You use ChatGPT to write the copy. You manually paste that copy into a funnel builder. You use Zapier to connect the funnel to an email platform. You schedule the social post in a separate tool, and you watch the analytics across three different dashboards. You did not build an AI marketing department. You built a six tool obstacle course, and you are acting as the project manager running between them. Now, compare that to AI brand app. It is one environment. The copywriting agent writes the copy, the funnel agent builds the page, the email agent handles the follow up, and the social engine distributes the content. There are no zaps. There's no manual copying and pasting. There's no project manager needed to hold it together. The difference between a tool stack and a marketing system is very simple. A tool stack breaks when you stop looking at it. A marketing system runs when you are not looking. Let's do a quick integration audit. I want you to mentally map the exact path a lead takes in your business right now. Start from the moment they click an ad, then they hit the landing page, then they get the welcome email. Then they get then they go into the follow-up sequence. Then their data gets passed to your CRM. Think about every single tool that touches that lead. You probably have at least 4 or 5 separate platforms in that one path alone. Now look at the connection points between those tools. If Zapier breaks, who fixes it? If one of those platforms updates their API, who notices? If you walk away from your business for a month, does that path stay unbroken? Or does it eventually stop because it needs you to step in and fix a connection? If your system needs you to hold it together, it is not a system, it is a job. I want you to think about all the tools we just mapped out in that audit. Drop this in the chat right now. How many different software subscriptions are currently duct taped together to run your marketing right now? Just give me the number. I'm seeing 5, 8, seeing 12, 14. Look at those numbers. That is the tool stack trap. You are paying for 8 different subscriptions, but you are still the one doing the work of connecting them. AI Brand App replaces every single one of those numbers in the chat with a one. So if hiring is too heavy and stacking tools is too fragile, what is the third option? That brings us to the model, the AI marketing department model. So if hiring a team is too heavy and stacking tools is too fragile, what is the third option? That brings us to theme 3, the AI marketing department model. This is the structural alternative to everything we just talked about. In this model, you stop treating marketing as a collection of human employees and you stop treating AI as a collection of software features. Instead, you treat marketing as a set of defined roles: a copywriter, a funnel builder, an email marketer, a social strategist. And instead of hiring humans to fill those roles, you configure specific AI agents to execute them inside one shared environment. This is what AI Brand App was built to do. It is a unified system where your agents, your funnels, your emails, and your outreach all operate under one roof. Why is this shift so important? Because it gives you a practical framework for getting out of the middle of your own marketing execution. In the old model, you were the translation layer. In the old model, you were the translation layer. If you hired a copywriter, you had to take their Google Docs, translate it into a brief for your funnel builder, and then explain it to your email marketer. If you use the tool stack you had to take the output from ChatGPT and translate it into 3 other platforms, you were always the bottleneck. The AI marketing department model matters because when your agents share a single environment, the translation layer disappears. The funnel agent automatically knows what the copywriter agent wrote. The email agent automatically knows the context of the campaign. It finally shows you how to scale execution without requiring you to be the human glue holding it all together. The reason you have not been able to build this yet is because you are treating AI like a smarter typewriter instead of specialized workforce. Right now, you are managing AI like a junior intern. Every time you need an email written, you start a new chat. You type out a long, highly specific prompt. You explain your brand voice. You explain the offer. You explain the audience. You do that every single time. You isolate the context. The AI writing your email knows nothing about the AI that wrote your ad. You are trying to build a department, but you are interacting with AI like it has amnesia. You are treating it like an intern that needs to be micromanaged when you should be treating it like an expert that already knows your business. To fix this, you have to stop prompting an intern and start configuring your experts. Here's how you actually build an AI marketing department. You define the roles first, and you configure the agent second. Instead of starting at a blank chat, you create a specific copywriter agent. You load it with your brand voice guidelines, your core offer details, and your exact audience profile. You tell it exactly what its function is. You do the same thing for your funnel builder and your AI marketing email agent. You configure them once so you never have to explain your business to them again. And because they live inside the same AI brand app environment, they automatically share context. The goal is to stop doing the heavy lifting of prompting every single day and shift to a configuring your experts once so they can execute indefinitely. Let me show you what this actually looks like when your experts are configured. Watch my screen. I'm going to type a simple two-sentence idea for a new lead magnet into AI brand app. That is my only input. Now watch the system execute the copywriter agent instantly, generates the landing page copy and a 5 email welcome sequence automatically. The funnel agent takes that copy and populates the landing page template. At the exact same time, the social strategist agent generates 3 promotional carousels to drive traffic to that page. Look at the screen. That entire workflow just happened in less than 5 minutes. And if I wanted to launch this yesterday, I would have had a 30-minute meeting with my copywriter, waited 48 hours for the draft, sent it to my funnel builder, waited another 48 hours for the page, and then told my social media manager to start creating assets. That is a 5-day cycle. You just watched an AI marketing department do it in 5 minutes. A real AI department does not just write the words, it builds the asset. Now, I want you to do an audit with me right now. Grab your pen again. Write down the top 3 marketing tasks that are currently bottlenecking your business. Is it writing weekly emails, building landing pages for new offers, creating daily social content? Write down the 3 biggest choke points next. Write down the 3 biggest choke points. Next, to each task, write down exactly how you are currently handling it. Are you paying a freelancer? Are you staying up until 2 a.m. doing it yourself? Or are you just ignoring it and hoping it goes away? Now I want you to take your pen, cross out the influencer's name, cross out the freelancer's name, cross out your own name, and cross out the word ignored. Write the word agent over all 3 because those are no longer tasks you need to manage. Those are roles we can configure. You do not need to learn how to do those 3 tasks better. You just need to install the agents that already know how to do them. Look at that audit you just did. Look at the one task that causes you the most stress. Drop this in the chat right now. If you could hire one AI agent right now to completely take over that task, which one would it be? Type copywriter, funnel builder, email marketer, or social strategies. I'm seeing copywriter, I'm seeing social strategist, I'm seeing landing page creator, funnel builder. A lot of you are saying social strategist. Uh, every single role you are ch- every single role you are typing right now is an agent that exists inside AI brand app. You do not need a better prompt. You just need to install that specific agent. Now, once this department is installed, it changes more than your marketing. It changes the structure of the entire business. That brings us to thing 4, the one person company. So once you actually install this AI marketing department, what happens to your business? That brings us to the theme 4, the one person company shift. This shift is the realization that for the first time in business history, scale is no longer directly tied to headcount. Historically, if you wanted the output of a 10-person marketing agency, you had to hire a 10-person marketing agency. You had to carry their payroll, manage their drama, and accept lower profit margins as the cost of doing business. The one-person company shift breaks that rule. It is the realization that a single founder armed with a unified AI system can now operate with the execution capacity, the speed, and the market presence of a large team but with the agility and the high profit margins of a solo operator. Why does this shift matter? Because right now, you are caught in a massive conflict between your ambition and your burnout. You want the revenue, the reach, and the impact of a large business, but you absolutely dread the reality of running one. You have seen what happens when founders scale the traditional way. They stop doing the work they actually love and they become full time managers of people who do not care about the business as much as they do. The one person company shift is important because it resolves that tension. It proves that you do not have to choose between staying small and being miserable. It shows you that you can finally have the growth you want without the management drag you hate. The mistake most founders make is that the mistake most founders make is that they equate the size of their team with the size of their success. You have been conditioned to believe that solopreneur means staying small and business owner means having a Slack channel full of employees. So if you optimize for the wrong thing, you optimize for growth revenue. um, You optimize for gross revenue instead of profit per founder hour. You celebrate hitting 50,000 a month, but you completely ignore the fact that it costs you 30,000 in payroll and 60 hours of your week to do it. You are trying to scale using the outdated infrastructure of 2019 to compete in 2026. You are equating the size of your team with the size of your success instead of optimizing for leverage. What you need to do is instead completely decouple your execution from your headcount. You do not need to build a team to match your ambition. You need to build an AI powered system that matches your ambition. A solopreneur does everything themselves and stays small. A traditional business owner hires people to do the work and becomes a manager. A one person company installs an AI system to do the work and acts as the strategic director of a highly leveraged machine. The goal is to stop acting like an employee of your own business, stop acting like the HR manager of your own business, and start acting like the architect. Do not build a bigger business, build a more leveraged system. Let's look at the actual math of what this shift looks like in reality. Let's compare two businesses that both make 50,000 a month. Business A is the traditional model. They make $50,000, but they pay $15,000 in payroll to their team. Worse, the founder spends 20 hours a week managing that team. Their margin is squeezed. Their speed is slow because the humans need days to execute. And their stress is through the roof. Then you got Business B. This is a one person company. They also make $50,000, but their marketing is entirely run by AI brand app. Their software cost is a fraction of a human payroll. They spend 0 hours managing employees. Their profit margin is closer to 95%. And because their AI department executes in minutes instead of days, they can launch twice as many campaigns. Which business would you rather run? The truth is, most of you do not actually need to hit $1 million in gross revenue. You just need a business that generates high revenue with zero payroll and zero management drag. Let's do one more quick piece of math together. Look back at the number you wrote down in our first exercise. The total cash and time cost of your current marketing model. I want you to imagine taking 95% of that cash and putting it directly back into your business bank account as pure profit. Now look at the hours you wrote down. The 10, 15, or 20 hours you spend managing freelancers or duct taping software together. I want you to imagine waking up on Monday morning knowing that your marketing department is already running and you have those 20 hours completely free. What will your business look like next month if you suddenly had that cash back in your margins and that time back on your calendar? That is what the one person company shift actually feels like. I want you to think about those 20 hours you just got back. Drop this in the chat right now. If you did not have to spend a single hour managing marketing execution next week, what strategic project would you finally have the time to work on? I'm seeing write my book. I'm seeing I'm seeing build my high ticket offer. I see take Friday off my kids. Uh That's why we're building this. You do not become a founder to manage Zapier integrations and chase freelancers or for revisions. You became a founder to do exactly what you just typed in the chat. So the question becomes, how do you actually get this system installed? That brings us to the final thing: the system you install, not the system you learn. So now that you see the model and you see the math of the one person company, there's really only one question left: how do you actually get this working in your business? That brings us to our final point today. Theme five: the system you install, not the system you learn. This theme is about fundamentally shifting how you adopt AI. Up until now, adopting AI has meant consuming information, watching tutorials, downloading prompt guides, taking courses, but you do not need another course to teach you how to use AI. You need an environment where you can actually install it. This theme is about moving away from learning theory and moving towards installing working assets. Why is this distinction so important right now? Because I know that almost every single person in this room is suffering from implementation fatigue. You have bought the courses, you have downloaded the 100-page prompt PDFs, you have attended the master classes, but when the video ends, you are still left staring at a blank screen, trying to figure out how to put it all together by yourself. This matters because you do not need more information. You are drowning in information. What you need is an outcome without the homework. You need an environment where the system gets installed live. So you do not get turned back into an overwhelmed student the second this webinar is over. The mistake you are making right now is that you are mistaking learning for progress. You think that if you just buy one more course on prompt engineering or read one more Twitter thread about AI tools, you will finally feel ready to build the system. So you keep gathering information. You are stockpiling instructions for a machine you have not built yet. And because you're trying to learn everything first, you inevitably try to implement these complex systems alone on a Sunday afternoon, long after your initial momentum has faded. You get stuck on technical detail, you get frustrated, and you abandon the project. You are trying to become an AI expert when what you really need to be is an AI operator. What you have to do instead is draw a hard line in the sand today. Stop consuming content and start installing assets. You have to shift from solitary learning to guided installation. You do not need to read one more article about the future of AI. You need to get into an environment where someone who has already built the system sits down with you, opens the software, and says, click here, configure this, and launch. Instead of trying to implement this alone later, you need to build it live and you need to leave with the actual assets fully installed in your business. Think about the last online course you bought. What was the process? You watched module one, you took some notes, you got busy with the client work on Tuesday, and you never logged back in. Your business stayed exactly the same. Now contrast that with an installation environment like our 5-day challenge. You log in on Monday, and by the end of the hour, you have configured your AI copywriter. On Tuesday, we launch your live sales funnel together. On Wednesday, we build your automated email sequence. By Friday, you do not have a notebook full of ideas. You have 4 configured AI agents, a live funnel, an email sequence, outreach scripts, and a custom micro software lead magnet that actually running in your business. You have a corpse that gives you modules, an installation event giving you assets. Because at the end of the day, information does not scale your business. Installed systems do. I want you to do a quick mental inventory with me right now. Think about the most expensive or the most time consuming course, program, or piece of software you bought in the last 12 months to try and grow your business. You got it in your head? Okay, now ask yourself, did you fully implement it? Is it currently running in your business right now, generating revenue while you sleep? If the answer is no, I want you to give yourself some grace. The reason you did not finish it is not because you are lazy. It is not because you lack discipline. It is not because the information was bad. The reason you did not finish it is because you bought instructions when what you actually needed was an installation guide and someone to build it with you. Let's see if I am the only one who has done this. Drop a yes in the chat right now if you currently have a folder on your desktop, a notebook on your desk, or a Notion board full of marketing ideas that you have not built yet. Looking at the chat. Yes, 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 yes. I'm seeing yes. I'm seeing a lot of yeses. We all have that folder. It is the graveyard of good ideas that we did not have the bandwidth to execute. Today is the day we empty that folder because you do not need to learn anything else to launch those ideas. You just need to install a system that builds them for you. So, here is the free 5-day AI business system challenge. We have covered a lot of ground in the last 60 minutes. We looked at why scaling your team eventually creates the hiring ceiling and why trying to automate with disconnected software creates the tool stack trap. We saw that AI marketing department model replaces both of those broken systems by putting configure agents into one shared environment. We looked at the math of the one person company and we saw how you can decouple your execution from your headcount. And finally, we agreed that the only way to actually get that leverage is through installation, not by buying more courses or reading more theory. So, right now, you have a choice to make about how you wake up and run your business tomorrow morning. You can go back to the way you were doing it yesterday. You can go back to opening 6 different software tabs just to get one campaign live. You can go back to chasing down freelancers for revisions, paying agencies that do not care about your margins, and acting as the human glue holding a fragile tool stack together. You can keep accepting that every time you want to launch a new offer, it is going to take you 3 weeks of coordination and exhaust you in the process. You can choose to keep being the bottleneck in your own company, but here's the truth about choosing that old model today. The market is not waiting for you to figure this out. While you are spending your week briefing freelancers and troubleshooting broker integrations, your competitors are going to be installing these exact systems. They're going to be launching new offers in an hour while you take a month. They're going to be running their marketing at 95% profit margin, which means they can outspend you on ads, outpublish you on content, and outmaneuver you in the market. If you do not make this shift now, you are not just staying where you are actively falling behind. In the next 12 months, you will find yourself competing against one person companies that have the output of a 10-person agency, and you will not be able to match their speed or their prices. But imagine what your business looks like when you stop building a bigger team and start installing a smarter system. Imagine having an idea for a new campaign on Tuesday morning, and by Tuesday afternoon, your copywriter agent has written the emails, your funnel agent has built the page, and your social strategist has created the assets. No meetings, no briefs, no waiting for revisions. Imagine firing the 6 disconnected software subscriptions that are slowing you down and replacing them with one environment that just works. Imagine looking at your P&L and seeing that you kept 95% of your revenue as profit because you finally broke the connection between how much you produce and how much payroll you carry. That is the one person company. That is true leverage. Getting to that level of leverage is not about buying another prompt pack or taking a 10-week course on AI theory. You do not need homework. You need installation. That is why I create the 5-day AI business system challenge. This is not a webinar series where I talk and you take notes. This is a live implementation event for 5 days, 90 minutes a day. We are going to open AI brand app together and we are going to build your new marketing department live on screen. Here's exactly what we install. Day one, we map your system and configure your AI chief of staff. Day two, we install your AI marketing department, your copywriter, funnel builder, email marketer, and social strategist. Day three, we structure your outreach and client acquisition system. Day four, we build your AI content engine so you never run out of creatives. Day five, we build and launch your first custom micro software lead magnet without writing a single line of code. By Friday, you do not walk away with ideas. You walk away with a unified system that is built, tested, and running. To guarantee you do not get stuck, I am also giving you the AI Agent Prompt Vault, 100 AI powered outreach scripts, and the Campaign Hub Snapshot Pack. If you hire consult if you hire consultants to build these assets, you will pay over $2,500. But the challenge to install them is 100% free. The link to register is on the screen right now. You can keep doing what you have been doing. You can keep hiring freelancers who let you down, stringing together software that breaks and working 60 hours a week just to keep your marketing alive. Or you can take 90 minutes a day next week to build a system that never sleeps, never needs a revision, and never asks for a raise. I know you might be thinking, I've tried AI tools before and nothing stuck. That is exactly why you need to be in this challenge because we are not trying tools, we are installing a unified operating system. You do not need to be technical, you do not need coding experience. You just need to show up and follow the steps. The challenge is completely free. The bonuses are yours to keep. The only cost is your decision to stay stuck in the old model. Click the button, register your spot, and I'll see you on day one where we start building. So here's the final Q&A. Now, before we wrap up, I want to answer the most common questions that I actually usually come up with, and that's what will, come up at this point, pretty much. So let's see what we got. Question: I'm already completely overwhelmed right now. I just don't have the time to add a 5-day challenge to my calendar. Now, then, I hear you, and I want to say this carefully because I know how real that feeling is. But here's the hard truth: you are overwhelmed because you do not have this system. The 90 minutes a day you spend next week is exactly how you buy back 20 hours a week for the rest of the year. If you do not make the time to build the system now, you are committing to being the system forever. So the question is not, do I have time for the challenge? The question is, can I afford to keep running my business this way? Okay. Question number two. I've tried ChatGPT and other AI tools before, but they just felt like extra work and didn't really stick. That makes complete sense. And that is exactly what we covered in theme two. You felt like AI was extra work because you were using it as a manual tool instead of a unified system. You were the integration layer. You were prompting, copying, pasting, moving outputs, connecting tools, and managing the whole thing manually. In this challenge, we stop prompting and start configuring. We are going to build an environment where the tools talk to each other so you don't have to. Okay. I'm not a technical founder. Do I need to know how to code or use Zapier to build this? No, no, this is zero coding required. There are no API keys to manage and no Zapier workflows to troubleshoot. The entire point of AI Brand App is that it removes the technical integration layer. If you know how to type into Google Docs, you know, and you have all the technical skills required to configure these agents. You do not need to become technical. You need to follow the installation process. Is this actually free or is there a hidden catch? The challenge, the installation, and the bonuses are 100% free. And I'll be totally transparent with you. We are a software company. We make our money when founders love AI brand out so much that they decide to keep running their businesses on it after the challenge is over. But you do not pay a dime to be in the room and build the assets with us. There is no hidden fee to attend the challenge. The goal is simple. You experience the system working, and then you decide if you want to keep using it. Okay. Will this work for my specific industry or niche? Yes. Yes, because AI brand app does not force you into a generic box. Actually, it's super custom to who you are and what you do and the specifics of what you got going on. It does not care what industry you are, it cares about the context you provide. On day one, we configure your AI chief of staff with your exact brand voice, your unique offer, and your specific audience profile. Whether you're in B2B software, real estate, e commerce, coaching, consulting, or professional services, the system adopts your specific business DNA. That is the difference between a generic prompt and a configure agent. Sure. Is this just another 5-day webinar series where you talk at us and pitch something at the end? Absolutely not. This is not a theory class. This is a live implementation event when we log in on Monday and I am opening up AI Brand App on my screen. You are opening it up on yours and we are clicking the buttons together. You are not going to leave with a notebook full of ideas. You're going to leave with a live phone and 4 working agents. That is the standard. Installation, not inspiration. Cool. Question 6. What happens after the 5 days are over? Do I lose everything you built? No. You keep everything you built. You will have a functioning AI marketing department, a live lead magnet, automated email sequences, and the assets created during the challenge. The work you do during the challenge is not imaginary. It is not a worksheet. It is not a practical exercise. You are building real assets for your real business. That question 8. Do I need to buy an expensive subscription to Campaign Hub before the challenge starts? No, you do not need to buy an expensive subscription before the challenge starts. We will provide the necessary access during the challenge so you can build exactly what I am building side by side with me without paying for a subscription to participate. The goal is for you to experience the system before you make any decision about continuing. Okay. Question 9. What if client work props up and I miss a day? Will I fall behind? The challenge does build sequentially. Day two relies on what we build in day one, but I also know you are running a real business. So we provide the daily replays inside the challenge portal. If you miss a live session, you can watch the recording that night and configure your agents on your own schedule. You just have to commit to doing the installation. Watching is not the goal, building is the goal. There are 100 AI gurus selling courses right now. Why would I trust this? Why should I trust this? You should not trust me as an AI guru. That is not the reason to be here. Okay. You should trust me because I am a founder who built this software out of my own desperation. I was trapped by the 15,000 a month payroll ceiling and the 20-hour a week management drag. I'm not selling you a theory I read on Twitter. I'm giving you the exact infrastructure I use to run my company and other companies as well. And I'm inviting you to install it with me live for free. So, one more time, the link is on the screen. You can register for the free 5-day AI Business Systems Challenge. Show up on day one and let's build the marketing department you do not have to hire. See you on the other side.